Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is an interesting puzzle, as it's something that don't have a lot of experience with in terms of it is a chaos construction puzzle, and essentially what that means is you have a semi-empty grid that doesn't show you where the actual regions are, and then it must be deduced by the solver. I think I may have done one, but I just can't recall because if I have, it's been quite a while. Um, Not that I've necessarily avoided them. I just don't. I've never really had one come up that at first glance when looking at them, it's something that I thought was I wanted to try to work out. But this one looks like it could be quite interesting. And as you can see, it's called External Construction 6x6 by Shintaro Fushida-Hardy. And let's kind of just jump into our rules here and see if we can figure this one out. Now, the starts off with the description of chaos construction, which I very briefly had mentioned. But each row, column, and 6-cell region contains digits 1 to 6 once each. The region borders must be deduced. So what does that mean? Well, it means that in terms of our rows and columns, it's our normal Sudoku. The rows and columns must contain the digits 1 through 6 exactly once each. But as you see, and as I pointed out, there are no regions given, or there are no dividing lines for the regions given. Usually on like a 6x6, you'd have these be the regions. But in this case, that's highly unlikely that that would be the what's the actual solution is. So to figure out how to divide this up into 6 sections of 6 cells, we have to use the further rules that are provided to us. And those rules go as such. Arrows. The digit in the first cell seen by an arrow is the number of cells the arrow sees belonging to the same region. Different regions block this vision. Okay, so let's walk through this and try to figure out what exactly that all means, because as I said, I've not done a ton of these. So let's look at this just diagonal arrow here. It's essentially saying that whatever this digit is, the actual value of the digit, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, is going to tell us in this diagonal region how many of these cages, these cells, the region that is associated with this particular cell can see. So let's say if it was a 1, it just means that none of these could be, well, it doesn't mean that they can't be part of the region. It just means that the ones consecutively can't be part. There would have to be another region that steps in to block the view. So this could be a 1 and it could still do something like this. If it was a 2, it would have to be able to see both of these regions, these cells, and it would have to connect in some way. And of course, then if it's a 3, it would be the same type of thing. So that's the kind of the concept it looks like that these arrows are creating. And the only other rule we have is the black dot separates 2 digits in a 1 to 2 ratio in some order. So that's a Kropki dot variant. So the 2 digits on either side of this black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio, or another way to write or to say it is that one of the digits is half or double of the other. And that's all we get in terms of our rules. So that said, let's jump into this thing and see if we can figure out what exactly we can determine by this information. And again, like I said, I haven't done many of these, so I don't know some of the tips and tricks that I'm sure are incumbent with this style of Sudoku. So it might take me a little bit longer to determine where there might be some quirks, between how things interact. But let's start taking a look at what we can try to figure out. I started with this guy. Let's just start here because it seems like a halfway decent place to start. These guys too might also be of pretty good use. And the reason I say that is because there's only so many digits that these can see. Like if we were to look at this one, this arrow could see all 6 of them if it wanted to, notwithstanding other arrows that are in the region as well. This one would probably be a better example to say that this one could see all 6 if it wanted to. These probably not, but this one can only see 3. That's the maximum it could ever possibly see, because no matter how you connect these to each other, it only sees those 3 along the line. So this has to just be 1, 2, or 3. And on that same concept, as I was mentioning, these can only possibly see 2 at the most, so they're 1 or 2. Now, this guy, I don't think we can really say, well, I guess we can say a few things about it, now that I think about it. If this was a really big digit, let's say it was a 6, there's absolutely no way you could see all these digits and then connect them together in some way so that they form a contiguous region. So it can't be too high of a digit. What would be the most? Could you do 4? You can't do, there's no way you can do 5. Can you do 4? No, there's no way. 2, 4, 6, 7. So it has to be 1, 2, or 3 would be the most this could ever be. In fact, it probably can't be 1, can it? Because if it's, oh no, it could definitely be 1. Because it could just be 1, and then it could just go off somewhere and find its own, well, is that accurate? Because of these 2 other arrows looking in. If this was a 1, it would have to pick up one of these 2. Let's just continue here, and it wouldn't, therefore, be able to get back to this one. So this would be a 1. And I guess it could, no, because it can't do that. Still couldn't do that. So let me finish my thought here, at least verbalizing my thought. If this was a 1, it has to see either one of these 2. It can't see both of them, because if it saw both of them, they would both be part of the same region, and therefore both of these arrows would have a 2 on them, but they would be in the same region, so it would break the puzzle. Therefore, if this were to be a 1, it would have to only see one of them. But if it sees one of them, if this is a 1, sorry, these both have to be 2s, and therefore again it'd be like they're pointing at each other and they're taking up the same region. They both have to take up 2, but that doesn't ever work. So I think we can say that can't be a 1 in a kind of roundabout way, or a long. But I think what we can say is we can separate. I think we're gonna have to do some coloring here. We can say that these 2 cannot be of the same region, because if they were, they would break the puzzle in the ways that we just described. So we can color these as 2 separate regions. Now, this is going to have to be part of one of these 2. Which one it is, we don't know. Or I don't know. Maybe you know. Maybe you know something about this that I don't. But it needs to connect to one of them just because it has to get out, and it can't connect to both of them because, as we previously stated. Now, what else do we have to work with? I mean, these guys don't really look like they're going to give us much information to start, because they can see all 6. Well, I guess this one can't see all 6, because if it saw all 6, this one would still have to have some other value, so it would have to do something like that, and therefore we have 7 in this region. But that doesn't pare this down enough. The same goes with this one. This one could see all 6 if it really wanted to. What else is interesting? These 2 are both looking at the same cell. So that would mean that both of these arrows needs to use whatever this region is and be valid for both of them. I'm sure I didn't say that very well. What I'm saying is this is part of a region. And both of these arrows are going to have a value that they're looking at in this, because there's going to be a digit here that they have to use to extend the region in both directions. Now, we know this couldn't be a 1, therefore, because then you would have a region that's blocking both of these sides in, and this can never get out. It would be a 1-cell region. So it can't ever be a 1. It could be a 2 and do something like that, and then just trail off in whatever way it wants to do. It could be a 3 because it could see 3 of them both directions. But it can't be a 4, because if it was a 4, it would see both of these, and there we have 7 again. So this has to be from 1, 2, and 3. And that actually gives us a triple in this row. So this forces this to be a 4, 5, 6, which is interesting. So we know this clue at least takes on this many. But it could very well connect into one of these other clues. Well, I guess it can't connect into this one, because we said already this has to do this, and this can't be a 1. I just said that. Still typed the stupid thing in. So that actually gives me a 2 and a 3, which would give me a 1 here. So I've got the 2, 3 pair looking at a 1. So this has to be a 1. And oh, actually, I could have just said that right off the bat. Both of these just have to be 1s, because they can't see each other. So this has to be a 2. I mean, a 1. Oh, my brain just went like out here for a split second there. They both have to be 1, because they have to be separate regions. And therefore, they cannot see anything other than what's on this in their own region on this diagonal. Okay. Yeah, I probably should have seen that when I was doing the logic of what these could actually be. Or I think I might have said it and I just didn't ever finalize the thought. So we know this either does this or this. It can't ever take on this, because again, this would have to be a 4, which it can't be, because it would have had too many digits. So whatever this is and this is are different regions, and this can never get to either of these other 2. So I can give this a color and state that it is its own entity. Now, can I say the same for this? And yes, I can, I think, because we know it can't connect all the way to here, right? Because 1, 2, 3. Yeah, if this was a 3, this would have to veer off before it got back over to here, and then we got too much. And to be able to connect to it directly, this would have to be like a 5. And that would have broken a lot of things. So this is its own region as well, and it has to connect to at least these. It could connect to these, or it might like veer off, like I said previously, into some other situation. Now, it can't be possible for this to be orange, can it? Because if this is orange, we know orange does this. The least this can be is 4, so it would have to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 digits. So this has to actually just be 3, because it can't connect here. So let's put our 3 here and our 2 here. And we get a deet deet doot in the corner. Wait, no, I did that backwards. Why am I stupid? This is 2, this is 3. I get the deet deet doot on the other corner. Jesus, my brain, I swear. Because we could not connect here, this had to be a 2. Okay, there we go. This is not a 2. All right, so this is a region separate from orange. But we cannot say whether or not it's a region separate from 1. I mean, could we say it's not part of this region? I guess we could. Yeah, because it couldn't ever get back to here. I don't think that's going to help us anything, though, but I'm a little bit hesitant to color this in, but I think I need to. I think what I'll do is I'll color it gray, and I'll give it a flash. So that essentially what I'm saying is I'm non-committal as to what this is. It could connect to something over here like this blue. I guess technically it could connect to the purple, but I don't know if it is one of these 2 or if it's its own standalone. All I know is that it has to at least be 4, and it cannot be orange. And we know this can't be orange, but this orange has to get out now. So that does help me with that reference there. This orange has to get out somehow, or it has to be able to pick up 6 total areas for a region, and therefore it has to take on all of these. And this one has to be purple or magenta, however you want to look at it, because otherwise it's just sitting alone by itself, and nobody wants to be sitting alone by themselves. Well, sometimes it's really peaceful, so I'll take that back. Maybe we do want to be alone by ourselves sometimes. So what I've got here is a finalized orange region where these 2 arrows have both been satisfied. Now that we know these 3 at least are part of this region, does that do anything else with this? Is it possible for this to be a 3? That's already 5 digits. And there's no way we can connect this without either exceeding the number of digits we're allowed, because this creates a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or leaving out something. Because remember, to make a 3, all of these have to be part of it. So we'd have to connect like that, and that would give us our 6 cells in our region. But then, once again, we're isolating this bottom cell here. We don't want to do that. So this has to be a 1 by that logic. And therefore, this cannot be part of our magenta region. So it has to come down. It's going to have to do this to just fulfill itself and create our final 3 slots of this region, because it can never fill in here. Otherwise, this would have had to have been either a 2 or a 3. 2 was already taken. We proved that 3 doesn't work. Okay, so we have 2 regions that are determined. What further can we do? Well, what about this region? Where does a 1 go in this region? We have to have all the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in every region. We can't put a 1 in any of these places, so this has to be 1. And that actually takes up a good chunk of this puzzle already in terms of rows and columns. Oh, actually, that does even better for us, because we can't repeat a 1 in a region. We already have a 1 in our purple region, so those can't be 1. So we have to put 2 1s in these 3 cells without them conflicting with each other. So therefore, they must both be 1s. And that finishes all of our 1s, which is kind of unusual that that occurred. But it does appear to be correct. That's interesting. Now, these must both be separate regions, because we can't repeat a 1 in either of them. We can't repeat a 1 in a region, that's what I meant to say. We can say that this 1 cannot be part of our gray region, because we already got 4 as a bare minimum. The 5 and 6 wouldn't get me there, so this has to be its own separate region. It can't be magenta, it can't be orange, it can't be the grayish color, and it can never connect back to either of these 2. So therefore, it's its own entity. We'll make it yellow. Okay. Continue with a little bit of Sudoku, I guess we can do. We have to put a 2 in the purple region, so it has to be one of these 2. Which actually does point at this. This can't be 1 or 2, and it can't be 3. So this is either 4, 5, or 6. It can't be 6. Because if it's 6, it takes up all of these. And then we still have to have this clue pick up these 2. And therefore, it would have to then connect. So we have 9 cells in this. So this can't be 6. That doesn't work. Now, could it be 4 or 5? If it was 5, it would take on all of these. It would be part of green. But I would need 1 more digit. And, well, this one here, it would just do this. If this was a 5, this is what would happen, I think. because this digit here, which is this arrow clue's reference point, can't be 1, so it has to at least be a 2. Therefore, it would see this. We already know if it's a 5 that it's in this region, so therefore it would do that, and that would finish its region. That's if this was a 5. We don't know that yet. Now, if it was a 4, we'd still have to get this out because it's going to be in this region no matter what. So we have to at least go here. And that gets us to 5 for this region. But we can't go any further than this in this particular case. This would have to be, I think this has to be a 2 no matter what, is what I'm looking at here. And I will explain that in a split second. Just want to make sure I'm correct. Yeah, because as we said, if this is a 5, it does this. This has to at least be a 2, so therefore it does that. If this is a 4, it does this. This has to at least be a 2, so it at least does that. Now, it cannot continue further. First off, because there's a 3 here looking at it, so this couldn't go to 3. It would have to at least go to 4. And that breaks our puzzle, so now we have 7 digits. But even if it could be 3, it can't go here, because then we have this yellow region that's now only 2 cells. So no matter what, if this is a 4 or a 5, this just is a 2. So these are all connected in some way. And again, it's hard to mark it. I'm going to mark it with a red flash, this one, because I want to remember that these are set like this and not forget that bit of logic. I just don't know if it connects like this or if it does this and it finds some other way to break out. Now, well, we can say the yellow is never part of red because it would be the same, because we already have 5 as a bare minimum for red. So to be able to pick up this one, it would have to grab another one to connect to it, and then it itself, which breaks the puzzle. So the 1 has to get out of here. The yellow has to get out of here, and it can't go up here, so it has to go all the way up. Now that leaves our section in here stranded, so it has to be part of this gray. Because we have 4 here, this one has to be part of it. Otherwise, it's a 2-cell, lonely little area. And if it's going to get down to here, then it's also going to go into here. So this is actually all gray. This is a gray region. Okay. Now we don't know if the 1 turns, or the yellow turns into here, or if the red picks that up. Okay, that's interesting. What is left over here? Okay, so we know what this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 5. We can put that in and we can get rid of marks of 5s. And that finishes that clue. Can we go any further with this? Is there anything with the 2s we could do? Just thinking in terms of Sudoku, because it helped us with the 1s earlier. Not really, because it just says one of these is a 2. It's worthless. If we were to remove all the possibilities of 2s, we'd get something like this. I guess that actually isn't worthless, because it does tell us one of these is a 2 in the gray. So therefore, this can't be a 2, which means this is. So let's not call things worthless until we've actually determined what they are. Wouldn't this be a better world if we all did that? So now we have 2s. It doesn't really tell us anything else, though. Doesn't seem. So what clues haven't we used yet? These ones are essentially done. This one isn't quite done. This one is done. And this one isn't quite done. And we still have our Black Kropki Dot to deal with. But this Black Kropki Dot kind of seems like it's going to maybe be the clue that breaks the last bit of this puzzle stranglehold on me. At least that seems to be what might be working here. Because there's options. It could be 2, 4, or 3, 6. It can't be 1, 2. And obviously it can't be 4, 8, because we don't have 8s to use in this 6x6 puzzle. Okay. So how do we finish this? We know this has to at least be 4, so it has to at least get here. Let's put that in. Because it's either 1, 2, 3, 4, or it's the 5. So the red could be part of the green, or it could be its own section. This 3. Well, this 3 can't be green. Because if it's green, we've segregated these, at least these 3. Because it could do that, and then we'd have to connect somehow. And we'd get another one somehow. I mean, this doesn't work for multiple reasons, but the point is, if 3 connects to green, it leaves blue out in the rain. So therefore, 3 is going to have to be blue. These both have to be blue. Now that gives us 4 here. We've got to put these in blue. That finishes the job for our blue. Now green has to get out. So green, we're going to get rid of our reds and turn them into greens. Because otherwise it would have just been stuck here in the corner. And then our yellow is going to finalize our region. So that should be all of our regions determined now. And we can say this is a 5, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's put that in. And it looks like all of our external clues have now been finalized. So we should be able to just finish this off with some Sudoku. We've got to put a 3 in here somewhere in this green, so it's got to go here. There has to be a 3 in the yellow, and it can't go any of those, so this has to go here. Therefore, this has to be a 6, because we've got the Black Kropki. What else do we need? We need these to, we need a 6 in the green. It can't go there, so it goes there. This has to be a 4 to finish our green. Where's the next step? This one can't be 1, 2, 3, 5, or 6, so therefore it's a 4. These have to be from 2 and 5. There's a 2 looking at, so this is 5, this is 2. This just has to be 5. There has to be a 2 in blue. It can only go there. This has to be from 4 or 6. There's a 6 here, so that's 4. That's 6. That's 4. Here we go. These 2 digits have to be from 4 and 6. This can't be 4, so this is 6 and 4. What's next? We need 2 in the gray. Can't go either of those because of those, so this is 2. We need a 4 in the gray. It can't go here. This is 4. This is 3. This is going to be a given 5. This is going to be a given 5. This is a given 6. This is a given 3. This is a given 6. And we get a doot in that corner as well. And this has to be 3. There we go. You solved the puzzle. Solution is correct. That was awesome. Like I said, haven't done a ton of chaos construction type puzzles before. And I think being that it's a 6x6, it's a little bit more on my level in terms of an entry into that style of Sudoku. So I certainly learned a lot about how these things can come together with this, which I love. So maybe I can try some other more complicated chaos constructions in the future. That might be in the cards. I hope you guys enjoyed this, learned a little bit, something like I did, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.